Hello and welcome to the long-awaited renewal of the Longines FEI Jumping European Championships 2021. 65 athletes with their incredible equine partners representing the 22 nations that will battle for medals over 5 competitions. 73.99. We have a new leader here in Riesenbeck. That was a tremendous round for Douglas Lindelof. Peter Fredriksson from Sweden, he jumps the last, he's 72.58. We have a new leader. Germany in the lead as David Will with Severe stop the clock at 71.66. What a great start to the 2021 Longines FEI Jumping European Championships.
Well, welcome back to the Longines FEI European Championships here in Riesenbeck. It is day 2 of an amazing week of competition here. The European Championships returning to the calendar, and day 1 was certainly full of action. David Will, as we saw there, going into the lead individually, but all those scores yesterday having an influence on the team score as well. And delighted to say, on the journey of this week with me is European gold medalist herself, Jessica Curtin. Hello.
Hi, Stephen, and hi to everybody at home. It's wonderful to be back again today, and what a beautiful weather, perfect for this event on grass here in Riesenbeck. And yes, it was an amazing day yesterday, really setting the stage for the rest of the team event. We have in the individuals 26 riders within one fault of each other, so what better way could it be now going into the second day of this amazing sport?
Absolutely, and again the Swedes are right up there leading the way in the team competition, but the home nation Germany in there, Switzerland, interesting with those three. But David Will's performance yesterday certainly had an influence for the German squad, and we're going to go into that in detail in just a moment. So we're going to take a look at what David Will had to say after that performance yesterday, and it certainly was a big one.
It was a very plannable course, I thought. From the beginning on, we had the plan the way I rode it. People had different plans, but then Martin Fuchs rode the exact round how I wanted to do it, and that just told me, okay, that's the way to do it.
Well, let's have a look at that round.
Absolutely super to see these 2 rounds. And yes, what David said is very typical for a rider to make a plan when they've walked the course. And it is, of course, an advantage to have a little bit of time to sit, watch a few riders go, visualize your own course, not to get upset when people make mistakes and do things. And then it is quite usual. He sees one person who he can visualize beating, saying, okay, Martin is very fast. He's a top rider. He's jumping exactly my round. But David is very competitive, and he himself knows that he can beat it. And you can see beautifully on this video that we have how Leonie jumps a little bit higher over the jumps, is slower in the air. Fear too is very quick, and basically this is what kept saving those small milliseconds the whole way around the course. And as you see coming to the last jump, David is really in the lead. It was absolutely brilliant.
Well, superb performance there, but again, it has an influence on the team competition. All of that's behind us now. Now it's into team day 1, where we really get into the top 10 teams going forward to tomorrow. What can we expect, do you think, very briefly?
Well, I think we can expect, having walked the course today, we'll go into that later, but having walked the course, I think we can expect great sport. Obviously, we have the Swedes up in the lead. The only team to jump 4 clear rounds yesterday. Yeah. And I know it was a Table C yesterday, speed class, but it's all about jumping clear rounds. The Germans are right in there. They had an unlucky day. 2 of their riders having a fence down, Chakaria and Stargold, untypical jumps, but they were going very fast. David Will in great form. And don't forget the Swiss. The Swiss are very strong, and they should never be underestimated.
Absolutely. The 2009 European champions, the Swiss team. Well, a lot of this, of course, is influenced by the course designer, and Frank Rothenberger is our course designer for the European Championships. Again, here it's his 8th championships which he builds at, and we caught up with him a few weeks ago to look at the build-up into these championships and what Frank had to say about it.
My name is Frank Rothenberger. I'm a German course designer. I started my company when I was 22 years old with the production and manufacturing of jumping equipment for horse shows and for daily training. So since that I'm doing course designing, which is my hobby, every year, about 20 to 30 shows a year. And yes, I have a lot of experience. I've been at 6 Olympic Games. I built so far 8 European Championships. Very important. The next big challenge for me will be the European Championships at Ludger Beerbaum's place in Riesenbeck in Germany. So normally they order the jumps, and then we start producing the jumps. That means we need a different selection of timber sizes. We are doing the welding of the aluminium, because for daily use at home it's better if you use aluminium at the base construction for the jump, for the wings. And then we do a CNC cutting machine. We do the 3D sculpturing. We use a table saw. We use different type of machines to build the jumps. And when the jumps are ready, we must spray it. We must color the poles. We do every year about 10,000 poles. That's a lot. And the jump design is always depending on the request of the clients. But mostly it's timber, aluminium, and foam sculpturing. Up to 1.40 meters, especially for young horses. We build nice flowing courses, nice distances, not too big, not too difficult, more jumps to educate a horse. If it's going up from 1.45 meters, 1.50, I ask question, is the horse in the situation to show me if this horse is able to do shorter distances or longer distances or difficult type of jumps. So if I want to lengthen the stride, or if I want to shorten a stride, just in front of a jump, in the period of approaching the jump, that I know how to tell my horse what I want. That's very important. So I ask questions, and the questions will be, is the athlete in the situation to tell his horse what he wants? That's very simple.
Well, there, Frank Rothenberger in action, and he's in action here. I'm delighted to say he's joining us in the studio. Frank, welcome. You've, as you say, 8 European Championships you've built already. What's it like being back here in these amazing facilities in Riesenbeck?
This is a very special location to me, because I live very close to here. I was jumping in this arena already when I was 18 or 19 years old, and then I started course designing when I was 20 years old, and I did some little shows here in this place. And when Ludger started 5 or 6 years ago, we were sitting together, and he was explaining the project and what he had in mind, and then we find a solution how to fill the place with jumping material.
Well, you've got it full of jumping material here today for a European Championships. It's all stepped up very quickly. For you building today, what's your philosophy on team building, maybe compared to individual building?
Yeah, I must say we started yesterday with 75 riders in the table C. There was scheduled up to 1.50 meters. Now we are allowed to build up to 1.60 meters. We have some jumps of 1.60 meters height. This is a second team competition and the second individual competition. And we still have all the riders from yesterday in this class as competitors. And as we, of course, have some weaker riders in this round, we don't want to make it too big today. It's a classical class. We have 14 jumps with 17 efforts. And water jump, triple combination, double combination, a wall, plank on top, Liverpools, the whole selection.
You've pulled out a little bit of everything out here. You've got a skinny wall in there to another skinny fence, and you say 14 numbered fences in all. There's a bit of a marathon element to this as well. There's going to be a longevity in having the stamina in this too.
Yeah, it's a long course. Normally in the Nations Cup you're not allowed to build more than 12 jumps, but with 14 jumps it's a big effort for the riders and for the horses. The course is 550 meters long.
And we're seeing a little bit of that course there, Frank.
That's A and B on 8 meters. It's one stride, Oxer 1.60 meters wide, and then 11.20 is a normal two stride distance. And then after this triple combination, very difficult to jump, I think, because of the color. Then we have 5 strides forward to an Oxer with a plank on top. rollback to the FEI jump vertical, 1.60 meter higher. Then we have nice 6 strides to the water jump, which is 4 meters wide. 7 nice strides to an oxer, 150 by 1.60 meter. And another 7 short stride distance to a high vertical, 1.60 meter. Now on the left hand we follow the line and we have a Liverpool. The Liverpool is very wide, 1.80 meter. The width of the Liverpool, the widest oxer in the ring, it's 1.70 meter wide and 150 high. Now we have the 2 skinnies, a wall, and a 4th stride distance, very short, to another skinny jump. Turn to the right, outside line, combination oxer and a small oxer behind on 1 stride. And the last jump, the riders can choose between 6 and 7 strides.
You make it sound so simple.
It is.
Frank, for you, as you mentioned there, we've got some youthful riders in here as well. We've got those that are possibly less experienced. We've got some really experienced riders here. You've got a great mix in there. This is a building block championship, really, for not only winning a European championship here, but for the next few years. We've got Worlds, we've got another European championship, we've got Paris coming up in 3 years. It's, working your way through here, that's obviously on your mind as well.
Yeah, but we have normally the riders know every year they have a championship.
Yeah.
Either Europeans or Pan Americans or World Equestrian Games, Olympic Games. So every year there's a championship for the riders. They prepare their horses for this championship for the year. And it's a new place here now, and everybody's crossing fingers that it works well.
8 previous championships for you, just for Europeans. I know you've been involved in a lot more than that. What's been the big moment for you through a European championship so far? What's been the special moment for you?
To me, the European Championships are one of the toughest championships. And if you look back to Tokyo last week or 2 weeks ago, of course you have some weaker nations and some stronger nations of yours have to stay home. And if we do the Europeans in Europe, we have all the tough teams. I think it's just a few countries missing. And so to me, the European Championships are the toughest.
And for you, does that make you nervous?
No.
Always relaxed. Frank Riesenbeck, have a great day. Thank you very much for joining us, and good luck and great job. We're going to go through in detail later. Thank you, Frank. Thank you to Frank Riesenbeck, our course designer here this week as well. And, of course, this all under the FEI, the International Equestrian Federation. And that's actually a very special year this year as they celebrate 100 years. Founded back in 1921 in Paris, where the idea was born as well for an international federation. Of course, the inclusion at the Olympic Games in 1912 and also 1920, and how it's built up to the games that we've just heard up, of course, in 2021. A rapid development of the sport early on has led to, well, a wonderful federation that now literally covers the globe and every continent. We're celebrating 100 years this year, and this is part of our celebration as we take a little bit look at our celebration video.
Birthdays. A time to celebrate, to reflect, to remember the days that shaped our lives. The big moments, and the quiet ones. The journey we have been on, and the times we came together to be more than we were alone. Each day learning from the last. To step into your ultimate arena. Every road is unique, but the commitment, drive, dedication and love the same. Always remembering where it began, and those who have helped us along the way. It is time to set new goals for the opportunities that lay ahead, and the partnerships that will span a lifetime. 100 years and counting. Time to shape our future together.
Celebration there, and voiced, of course, by Peder Fredriksson, and well, with a past European champion. Of course, he was a recent silver medalist for the second time at the Olympic Games, but all under the International Equestrian Federation. And delighted to catch up with the jumping director from the FEI, Marco Fuster, who's in a new role as having come into this in the last year or so, previously been involved in the sport in all sorts of manners. Marco, coming into a European Championships here with this hat on this time. You've been chef de keep, you've been involved in the administration-wise. What's it been like building towards this, a rescheduled championships, and working with the team here?
Well, it has not been easy because it's been everything on a little bit of a run. Normally those championships are assigned with a longer time that this one was assigned, but the uncertainty of the games brought us to have to pick up and maintain the European Championships for this year. And then it's been great. I mean, the place here is a delight to work with. Our Ludger Beerbaum, Karsten Luteken, and the whole Riesenbeck team have done an amazing job putting this championship together, putting a first-class venue for this very nice championship. And so far, we've seen it. We've seen it in the arena. I mean, I think this is going to be a fantastic championship.
For you, new role, as I say, at jumping director at the FEI, what's it been like for you the last 12 months building into this, and what you expect to get out of this week? As we mentioned a little bit earlier on, because this is real stepping stone work towards Paris 2024, World Championships next year, and of course the next European Championships as well.
Well, we couldn't lose an opportunity like the European Championships. As you said, the stepping stone is a new cycle. Normally it starts 1 year after the Olympic Games. This time it starts 1 month after the Olympic Games. And it's this show, and then next year is the World Championships, next year, followed by another European Championships just before Paris. So it is very important to just keep the cycle and keep everything for everybody to just build on. Give the opportunity here maybe to younger riders that could be very important in around Paris. I mean, people give the experience to those people. I mean, this is for the sport. I think is fundamental.
Absolutely, it's new blood out there, it's new horses out there, it's lots of new faces out there, as we've seen over the last 24 hours and what we're going to see over the next few days. The pressure of today, you've experienced it in all different types. What's that like as well?
Today is a very, very, very tense day because let's see it. I mean, it's make it or break it for a lot of people. Okay, there's a group on top that they're fighting to win it and for the medals, and then there's a middle group that are fighting to get to the second round, to improve, to get experience, to get better. I mean, for those countries, today is a nerve-wracking day. Also, the pressure to win is the pressure to win, but it's a little bit of a different sort of pressure.
It's going to be pressure in all directions. Well, hopefully you have a nice, easy day, Marco, and thank you very much for joining us. We're looking forward to how it all comes out over the next few hours, the next few days, but you've got a big few years ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Marco, thank you for joining us. And, well, we're building up towards competition, and we're going to say hello to our commentary team as well, because not just Jessica and I in the studio. Of course, there are Phil and Alice, who are over in the commentary box as well. So a very good, well, it's early afternoon here to you. They're working away over there. They're doing the last of the preparations.
Busy beavers.
Absolutely.
Getting the notes written down, waiting for competition to start.
There we go. Hi, Phil. Well, we're keeping them quiet for the moment, I think.
Yeah, they're obviously looking after their voices, that they're going to be fit later.
Absolutely. Well, so, Jess, while we keep them fresh and ready for a little bit later on, of course, they're going to be talking through our competition. We touched on it a little bit earlier on. Sweden in the lead at this point. I mean, they've been so dominant all the way through those Olympic Games. Different shake-up in this team. But we're also looking at those teams underneath here today. And a little what Marco said there. There's going to be teams that have got different agendas today.
Oh, very much so. And when when you look to the Irish team, this is a team of 4 riders. They've never competed at a championship before, so this is very important for them. Look at Mark McCauley, silly foot in the water yesterday. He was really cut up about it, and you know, he has to pick that up today and move on and get experience and be ready to build a core of riders, as Marco said, for the championships coming up. It's only 3 years to Paris, and we've got World Championships next year.
Yeah.
And obviously the countries need a depth of riders for this. You know, when I look down the list and you see the Netherlands are very close, obviously they're going to get in there. Denmark, they're desperately trying to put together strength of riders. They had a rider at the Olympics with Andrew Shue and Dark Deluxe. He is again on the team here, leading them into this. So it's teams like this, or the Czech Republic. I mean, look at them. They were the first time ever qualified for the Olympics. They've come here with 3 different riders, and already Centellano is in the top 20 in the individual, and he's within a mistake of the leaders. So when we look at all of this, these countries are getting a chance to move up, to gain experience, because it's very difficult to get to these top shows. And this is a wonderful opportunity. And obviously it's difficult after day one when you're sitting perhaps individually in 28th place, but you're only a fault behind the winner.
You're a fence behind, and that's it.
All. Yeah. That's all. So it's up to the chef d'équipe to really motivate their riders. Come on, keep going. Today can make a big difference. And I've walked the course. It's a very, very different course to yesterday.
Well, it is going to be an interesting course, and I think we might have our commentators with us now too, Alice and Phil. Hello, good afternoon, and I hope you're with us this time. Hello, Phil.
Hi, Steve.
There he is. Hi.
Sorry, Steve, we didn't have any communication between us.
That's all right, as long as we're communicating later. How are you guys feeling about today? What are your thoughts on it?
To use a word that my co-commentator Alice just used, it's feeling pretty intense. First of all, we're in the perfect position. We've got the best seats in the house. Everything is looking absolutely fantastic. But there's an awful lot of riders who have been walking around this arena for the last 30 minutes that look pensive. And I think it's because it's very big. Alice, you've walked the course a couple of times with Jess. What's your view?
Yeah, I'm nervous sat up here watching. There's a lot of options, some quite spooky fences. We actually saw quite a few horses yesterday spook at the water, at the planks, and yeah, there's a few fences that some are going to take a look at today, a few distance questions, and it is intense. There's no real let-up. It's going to be concentration from fence number 1 right to the finish.
Well, good luck to you both. Have a good afternoon is all we can say to you, and good luck to all the teams, but they'll be taking you through. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Alice.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
And Jess, we mentioned in there the tension. You've been in this. You won gold medal back in 2001 with the Irish squad then. It wasn't too long ago. What is this like? I mean, everybody, I guess, is different in how they handle pressure.
Definitely. Everybody's different when they handle pressure. When I look back to when we were in Arnhem, at that stage, it wasn't really sort of in to use mental trainers. Now there's an awful lot of the young riders are going to these sport mental trainers. It's not taboo anymore. It's part of the thing.
Yeah.
And there is techniques that you can learn, that you can use to deal with this pre-competition stage fright, if you want to call it, but certainly it can come. And obviously, if your brain gets into the situation where it's in, as we call, the change state, you're not going to ride to your plan.
Yeah.
Something is going to go wrong. So obviously, different people deal in different ways. Obviously, if you're a very cold person, it's super. You can come in, just do jump by jump, do your job. But also, if you're a very cold person, you can also fail to give the elan to your horse.
Yeah.
You know, so there's pros and cons for both sides of the coin, but definitely those people dealing with their nerves, they've really got to work in it before they sit on their horse.
Now, Alice said you've had a look at the course as well. What's your overall thoughts on the track here today from Frank?
I have a great feeling when I walked the course. I have to say, yesterday I walked the course and I enjoyed it. The sport was wonderful yesterday. It was spot on for the people we have here. This course, like Frank said, it's not overly big, but it's very technical.
Yeah. He's
used colours of jumps, he's used lines, he's used change of balance, change of rhythm, change of tempo. I'm sure the time will play a limit. We'll see that after the first couple of horses have gone. But I think it's a really well set course. I don't think it's going to be too much but I think the riders have to ride extremely clean and stay very, very concentrated the whole way.
And as I mentioned in there, I mean, 14 numbers fences, what was sort of 17, 18 jumping efforts in there as well. You've got to be fit and ready for a European Championships, haven't you?
Oh, very much so. I mean, the horses have to jump here 4 times. They've got the individual first day, then they've got 2 rounds in the team, and then they have another individual 2 rounds again on Sunday. So the horses need to be very fit, and not just fit, trotting and cantering around the. They've got to be strong. They've got to be like us going in the gym and working our core, working our muscles. The horses need to be strong. They need to have power with all these going forwards, coming back, turning. Balance, power, rideability. These things are all extremely important. And of course, the rider, the same. The rider has to be very fit. You can't come in here with a beer belly on you and say, well, you know, it's all fine. You've got these days. The sport is such a high level. Horse and rider need to be trained athletes.
Now we're going to give you a bit of a mental test as well here. What are your thoughts on the day in terms of the way this is going to play out for teams? We've got Sweden in the lead there. We've got Switzerland in there. In our top 3, Germany, of course, the home team, David Will, and of course Christian Kukuk playing a big part in pulling them back up yesterday after a little bit of a tricky start.
Well, if you ask me that, what can I say? I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. I was planning to bring my crystal ball, but I left it at home. So if you ask me, you know what, right up to Belgium team, they're in 10th place. I think right up to 10th place, it's open.
Yep.
Obviously, it's just about jumping the clear rounds, but with them only being 1 jump behind Sweden, Germany and Switzerland, and it's strong teams. We have France and Netherlands and Belgium. I think the Irish are perhaps, they're just a couple of fences away. They've drifted out with the other teams, but within that bunch, anything can happen. But obviously, the form, Swedes are the ones jumping the clear rounds.
Absolutely, and I mean we've been chatting to a few of those in there, Rolf Joran Bengtsson, etc. I mean it's great to have his experience and influence in there with some of the less experienced ones and how it comes together, but the same on a few of the other teams as well.
Oh, very much so. I mean, Marcus Ehning on the German team, he knows exactly. He's been to championships, and he's had championships good and bad. When we go back to Aachen, when he had that terrible stop on the wall, I mean, he grew out of this. He knows how to deal with it, and he can pass this on to the others. Riders like David Will. David is really a professional rider. He's going every week to the shows. He's a winner. That's one thing. David is really a winner. So he will have his plan, like he said, and he will see it through. He's thinking about the team, but he's also thinking about his own results in this. So the Germans, very, very strong. Mumbai jumped super yesterday.
Yeah.
Chakaria, one little mistake. I would like to see it better today. I hope she's on form. I look further into the Swiss. I mean, Leonouillet. Could he have jumped any better?
Yeah.
What about Campari with Elian Baumann? It's his first championship. Elian Baumann, I saw him working the course. Very cool, very relaxed, walking the distances 2 or 3 times, putting a plan into his head. Very professional for somebody doing their first championship. Luc de French, Olivier Robert was right up there in 4th place yesterday individually. Penny Lou jumped a very, very good round. She was clear, she was a bit slow, but it was very solid. And remember, today it's about jumping clear rounds. We need from each team 3 clears. And, you know, it's easier said than done out there.
It's easier said than done, but we got that from the Swedes yesterday, so we will see. But as you say, anywhere within that top 10, of course, Belgium, the defending champions as well, they had a tough day. But here is where, depending how today goes, you could pull yourself up by your bootstraps and put yourself back in it.
Oh, very much. Everything's open. I mean, we always say the first day of the championship is a little bit just to get a little bit of organisation into the situation, and we've done that. I mean, with 26 riders within 1 fault individually, we mustn't forget that. 26 riders within 1 fault individually, that just means it's open. They've qualified themselves to have a good shot at it. But with 3 days still to come, it's any man's game at this moment. Or any woman's, obviously.
Or anybody's
game at this moment.
Absolutely. Jessica, thank you. We're going to be catching up later between the rounds when we take a little bit of a breather to come back to the studio as well. So we'll be joining you for that and after competition too. Make sure you join us for that for a bit of analysis, run through. We're catching up to the leading teams then as well. And so before we hand over to our commentary team, just to remind you of the ways that you can watch. And that is on FEI TV if you're already a subscriber, also through YouTube. And if you're not a subscriber already, there is a 30-day free trial, so you could watch the European Championships. Remember, we've got not only jumping but dressage coming up next week and eventing in the next few weeks as well. So all of that is going to be on your screens, and we're bringing you, it is day 1 into the teams, the big decider here of the top 10 teams going forward to the final. Who will come out in that top 10? Only one way to find out. Stay with us for competition coming up very, very shortly. See you in a few minutes.
Hello and welcome to the second day of the Longines FEI Jumping European Championships 2021. 64 athletes with